Hey, it's Bob Melbanian and Matt Hartnett from Shockwave Skull Sessions and Aftershocks. If you'd like to receive access to exclusive episodes from your favorite show and would even like to be a part of it, we've got an offer that you simply can't refuse.
CMSPN now offers our listeners the chance to not only view and listen to exclusive episodes, but to actually participate in one as well. Go to our Subscribe Star page at www.subscribestar.com/CMSPN. Our page has 3 monthly subscription tiers for you to choose from, and is a great way to personally connect to your favorite CMSPN show.
Our content will always be free of charge, but if you're looking to have a closer connection to your favorite show, subscribestar.com/CMSPN is the way to go. As always, thanks for listening, and enough of us talking. Here's the episode you actually came here for.
It is Aftershocks right here on Aftershocks TV, and joining us once again to talk about yet more new music is the lead vocalist of the Electric Boys, who's going to be talking to us about his brand new stellar release. And I do say stellar and mean it. Upside Down, there it is. It is the great Conny Bloom. Connie, how are you, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm better now that I have this Electric Boys release. What a great record, man. Let's start there, man. It's such a fun, fantastic record that is written with themes about probably not a fun time.
Hey, yeah, well, it's been a non-fun time for sure. But some of the stuff was written before as well, so it's a mixture of newer lyrics and old stuff. But then again, with lyrics, you can always it's kind of people keep asking me often when you do interviews and stuff what that and that lyric means.
Mm-hmm.
And of course it's nice to tell the story, but a lot of times it's actually nice not to tell the story because people can interpret it in different ways.
Sure. No doubt.
Like when you read a book and you love the book, and then you see the movie, and it's not as exciting as what you imagined when you read the book. That
right.
kind of.
How do you, as a lyricist, how do you feel when somebody comes up to you and says, "Oh, I love this song because it reminded me of blah blah blah," whatever their situation is, and it's completely not in line with what you were writing about? Is that bothersome, like they didn't get it, or are you okay with the fact that fans interpret things the way they do?
Yeah, for sure. I like that. I love it. I mean, that's the beauty of it.
Makes sense.
Cool. And it actually makes me think, oh, that's an interesting way of looking at it.
Right. It just really is kind of funny how everybody has different experiences, but they'll take words and associate them to their experience, and it works for people. It's funny, like people, especially like divorces seem to be the ultimate place for song lyrics, where people are constantly like, a song may not have been about even a relationship at all, but somebody, they'll take a little piece of it and they'll associate it all to their situation. It's interesting.
I know. I've had quite a few people coming up to me saying that you don't know how many times I've listened to "Dying to Be Loved," that because of that broken-hearted feeling and all that. And it's, it's great. It's life. You write lyrics about stuff that happens, and hopefully other people can relate to it. And when they can, that's the best thing.
Sure, no question. Well, Connie, let's talk a little bit about everything that's going on Upside Down. I'm going to start with Martin Tommender coming back to the band after almost 20 years. How did that happen? Was it just a phone call, or had you been rekindling a friendship, or how does he come back to the band?
He came back to the band with a broken what's this bone?
A collarbone?
Yeah. True story. We, when we had this chat with Franco, the original guitar player, and we understood that we're all better off going in different directions and stuff. And then I thought, it's Martin. It's got to be Martin. I didn't even have a plan B. It's like that's it.
Okay.
And because of course, because he was the guitar player on Freewheeling, but also because I had been playing with him on some of my solo stuff and all that, and we just play really, really, really good guitar together. At least that's what I think. And we don't step on each other's toes and that kind of thing. So I was like, okay, we gotta get him. And I phoned him. I said, you want to come for a beer and have a chat? And we actually live really close to each other, so he's almost like my neighbor. But so we went to this place, had a few drinks, and he was riding a bike. And on his way home, I said bye to him and everything, and it was all jolly good. And he went home, or that's what I thought, but he actually fell off his bike on his way home and broke the bone up there. And didn't even know if he was going to be able to play for I don't know how long. So it was a really fucked up situation, to excuse my French, but I mean, he wanted to join the band.
Right.
But it didn't, because he was hurting. He was hurting real bad, and he had to go for surgery and stuff. And we had this album planned and rehearsals and everything. But well, yeah. So that's how that happened.
Okay. And then obviously the other interesting and it's interestingly unique to this probably this time in life is the fact that even though Nicolas is your drummer, COVID prevented him from being on the record. So talk a little bit about that and how Joel ended up playing on throughout the record.
Yeah, I mean, Joel has been he's been in the band since we reformed 2009 because of that whole thing that Nicolas lives in Los Angeles. So when we've been doing like one-off shows, we couldn't fly him in for financial reasons, if anything. So Joel has been the standing guy from the beginning, but then it ended up being that he's actually played more shows than what Nicolas has.
Okay.
Or have. And on the previous album, The Ghost War Diaries, they were sharing duties, and I think Joel played on at least 3 songs. So yeah, I mean, Nicolas just couldn't come here. Like it was impossible at that time. So Joel ended up playing on the album and did a mighty fine job, I think.
Absolutely. Was that frustrating for you because you had, it seems like, at least from the press, and you can just tell me that I'm reading the press wrong, but it seemed like you had that slot kind of plotted out for Nicolas. Was that indeed the case? And was that frustrating that kind of COVID shut that plan down?
What do you mean I had it planned out?
The thought was that Nicolas, at least the way the press release reads, is that the thought was that Nicolas was going to play all the drums on the album. And then because of COVID, he couldn't get there to work with you to record. Is that not true?
Well, obviously we thought that Nicolas was going to be on the album as it's been all along, but we just felt that we had to make a new album,
right,
to keep the band alive. Simple as that. And I phoned Nicolas and I said, "Can you even come to Sweden?" And he said, "No, I can't." And I said, "But I mean, are you okay with this? Because we really got to make an album and continue. I mean, and stay creative and work." And he said, "Yeah, of course." And the good thing is that Nicolas and Joel has always had a really good relationship. There's never been any like, I don't know, any
confrontation or something.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, first of all, Nicolas is one of, I mean, Joel is younger, and Nicolas was one of his heroes back in the day, and when he heard our old stuff, he loved his playing. And Nicolas wants the band to continue, and so, and thinks he really likes Jolle. So, well, what can I say? It's how it happened.
Right.
Who knows? Maybe next album it'll be only Nicolas, or he'll be coming in for a tour, or let's see what happens.
No doubt, man. Well, yeah. Connie, first song that people have heard is Super God, which is kind of the epitome, at least in my mind. And again, this could be one where the lyrics are being interpreted the wrong way, but seems like this is like if you wrote lyrics about how people had to adjust to COVID, this would be the song. The whole thing about, knocking on the door and hoping somebody will answer. That really is how the world has changed because of COVID. Was this a COVID related song, or was this something you had previous?
It was. It's like that, just like you're saying. I mean, when the shit really hits the fan, as it did now for sure, then it's like, what the fuck do we do?
Right.
Like that. It's like I can't. You can be a control freak or whatever, or be the best guy in the world, but this is a difficult one.
Right.
How do we do this? And where do we reach for help? I mean, and then we came up with this idea of this Superman character, which for the video, which I was doing all the drawings, and I made him look like Nicolas because he wasn't on the album. So this was kind of funny, but yeah, but that's the feeling you get. It's like, holy shit, what do we do now?
Right.
Who do we turn to? It's like if there was ever a time when you'd wish for somebody to walk into a phone booth and change and come out and save the world, it will be now,
Right. No, you're so right, man. And what's interesting is I imagine for a guy like you specifically, who is, a professional musician who earns the bulk of your living, I'm assuming, on tour, this has just got to be a nightmare, to just be stuck at home and not being able to do what you do, Yeah.
Well, the nightmare part is the not being able to tour, but I remember thinking, I think it was my mom who said it to me, like when the pandemic started, and then it went on for a couple of months, and when people the 9 to 5 workers, so to speak, when they couldn't go to work, they have to do all the work from home.
Right.
And she was saying to me at one point, have you noticed a big change? I'm like, actually, no.
Right.
From that point of view, the big change is, there's a hell of a change. But I mean, the fact that you got to stay home and do all the work, and it's what I always do. So my way of dealing with this was, I just felt like I just gotta use this situation. If you can't go on the road, then we better make an album, stay creative. And so I started writing like crazy, and then we made the album. So yeah, it's always been like that. Music is like a little bubble. It's the comfort zone. It's like I use music to feel good. Once you get inside that bubble, it's all nice and cozy, and you feel good.
No question.
So I was doing that. Plus I had my all my chili plants and squirrels on my balcony that summer. That was I still have them. It used to be one that was tame, and is tame the right word in English?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And now there's 2 of them. So I was sitting there today actually drinking coffee, and it came up to me. He sat on the table. I gave him some walnuts and stuff. So yeah, I got through the whole thing by staying creative and feeding squirrels.
Sure. Nice. Obviously the world is starting to open up a little bit, not fully yet, but I'm going to assume that you're planning to get out on the road and tour and obviously promote Upside Down, and really in large part probably promote your solo material as well, because you put out the solo record but really didn't have a full chance to work it, I don't believe. So do you think that you'll approach touring differently? Will you have any apprehensions about meeting fans and shaking hands and all the things that have changed due to COVID?
I will shake their hands if they want to shake mine, because I've had it, and I will take the vaccine, of course. So I'm not worried anymore. I used to be worried, but I'm not now. So, and I think you guys, you're a bit ahead of us with vaccinations and stuff. So things are opening up, like you said, for you guys. But there's it's all going on here at the moment, and I think lots of things will change during the summer, but it's difficult to say at what speed, so to speak.
Sure.
And the solo stuff, yeah, I'll be doing some solo stuff as well. But right now the focus is for sure on Electric Boys, and we've actually done something just recently that we've been working on, which is really has been really fun and interesting, which is a concert film, because we never even released the DVD,
right,
or anything like that. So again, it was like, okay, what do we do? Let's think outside the box. And we together with our booking company, booking agent, we came up with this idea. Let's do, because we wanted to do a video for Tom and Domino's that will be a performance video, because we haven't done that for like 6 years or something like that. And I think it's important. I mean, that's what we do. So I wanted fans to see us perform again. And so at the same time, we did this concert film, which includes, it's a full gig with lots of cool material, I think, because we started doing the stuff from Freewheeling again, because Martin is back, and lots of fans have asked for that, because we haven't played it since we reformed, and then the new stuff, of course, and there's lots of documentary footage, and yeah, so that's been great. That's been something different, and it's kept me really busy for quite some time now, and that's it's gonna be broadcasted on this Friday, the upcoming Friday.
Okay.
So that'll be a live thing. If you go to electricboys.com and log in and all that, then we'll be live in the studio showing this concert film, chatting to people and playing acoustic, and it'll be a hangout with a band.
Sure.
Which I think would be great fun.
Sure, no doubt. Now, is that available worldwide, or is that just available over there? No,
it's worldwide.
Okay, excellent. Connie, one last question before I let you go, man. Of all the bands that you came up with, and there's obviously that huge wave of bands that came up, the only two I can think of that have been able to kind of adapt their sound and continue on and maybe even be stronger than the original heyday is your band and Europe. Everybody else kind of stayed stuck with that 80s hairband sort of sound, where you and Europe are the only two that really changed your sound. For you personally, was that just organic, how you grew as an artist, or did you purposely think, hey, I got to change what I'm doing in order to survive? Or how did that change come about?
I got to say, it's totally, I like the word organic. That sounds good. But I mean, the way we make records and the way I write songs is that I just write songs, and then what comes up, and then in the end we listen to it all and decide on what songs are the best, and then that is what becomes the album. So it's not like we sit down and discuss, let's make a heavier album or a funkier album or poppier or whatever. We've never done that. The only thing we did with this last one is that we wanted the sound a little bit more in the face than the previous one, which sounded like hi-fi wise, it sounded amazing, but we wanted a bit edgier this time for a change, you know. So it's never been it's all very organic, like you said, natural, and the best songs wins, you know.
Right. Nice. Very good, man.
Yeah, I mean, you're changing. I mean, you get older and you listen to lots of music, and I think that's the beauty of Electric Voice, because we even had some kind of company back then called Eclectic Noise, if I remember right, because it's always been a wide variation of inspiration sources, and I mean, and the whole 80s thing, we could not really relate to that very much, because we came from I was at home, you know, listening to Hendrix and Undisputed Truth, Betty Davis, Sly and the Family Stone,
right,
Johnny Reinhardt, you know, gypsy jazz, reggae. I mean, the 2 gigs I saw with Bob Marley at the Tivoli in Sweden was probably the best gigs I've seen. So there's a lot of music going on.
Sure. It is interesting too, because anybody that was familiar with Funk-O-Matic Carpet Ride, you know, Lips and Hips obviously fit the 80s sound. Rest of the album was much more of a rock album, and I don't think people understood that. I think, you know, I honestly think that your band was one of the most misunderstood bands to come out of that era, just because they marketed the quote unquote hit, you know, the hit, and it was obviously a hit. I mean, people still love that song today, but it really, the only band I could think of like that was maybe like Extreme, where Extreme was marketed for their ballads, but really they were quite a heavy band, you know, and yeah. I think your band was kind of the same way. You were marketed toward the hair metal sound, but you really didn't make hair metal album to album.
I remember touring when we did the tour with Mr. Big in America, and they had that big hit with "I'm the one who wants to,"
right?
Which was great, of course. I mean, for sure, a hit, and with his singing, it's amazing. But I remember them saying that because that was their hit, there was a lot of fans coming to the shows because of that song, and right. that's not what their shows was all about. They were right. like a hard rock band, and so I remember them saying it was, you know, it was kind of, I don't even think, if I remember it right, I can be wrong, so don't, you know, but I think they didn't actually want that song on the album. They did it like as a joke,
right?
And it was probably the manager or the producer, whatever, said, no, but it's great. Let's put it on there. And I think they actually maybe put it even as the last song.
It is the last song, yeah.
Yeah. And of course, it turns out to be the big hit, you know.
Right.
You never know.
No, you never do, man. Well, I'll tell you what, Connie, the new album, it is called Upside Down, and it is a fantastic release. I firmly support it. And Connie, thanks once again for joining us here on Aftershocks.
Always fun, man. Hope to talk to you soon. Absolutely.
Well, I'm sure you'll have more music to lure me back shortly, right?
Yeah. And we're doing the Monsters of Rock cruise.
Great.
The next one. So
great.
Maybe I'll see you there.
There you go. Perfect.
Thanks for listening to Aftershocks. For more episodes, go to our website at www.aftershockspodcast.com. Visit us on our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages for more news and information on the podcast. And be sure to subscribe, listen to, and review all episodes on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all other podcast platforms. For your music listening pleasure, visit our website or go to www.shockwavesradio.com for all comments and questions please email us at info@aftershockspodcast.com.
All right, everybody, another great interview right here on Aftershocks TV. And before we go, just want to remind you one more time, make sure you get over and subscribe to the CMS Podcast Network, CMSPN.com. You can watch, you can listen, you can subscribe to everything that we do, not only us, but the classic metal shows, Shockwave Skull Sessions, Talk to Me. It's all there, one site, get 4 great shows, never have to do anything again but be entertained. So check it out, cmspn.com, cmspn.com, cmspn.com. Until next time, folks.